Today we'll learn about rational exponents. Well, first you need to understand that when you hear rational exponents, you need to know that that means the same as fraction exponents. Fractions are rational numbers. So what you need to learn today is that a fraction exponent means a radical. So we really will learn two new rules today. The first rule is if I take x to the 1 over n, that means the nth root of x. We could also think of it as the nth root of x to the first, which will help us with the next rule. The second rule is if I have x to the m over n, that's equal to the nth root of x raised to the m. Or I could rewrite that as the nth root of x to the m. Where you place that m is going to depend on your use and how you're trying to simplify things. You generally want to make numbers smaller before bigger. Pause the video, get your rules in your cumulative notebook, and your exponents foldable. Also pause the video again to write down these examples before we go over them. Okay, so in number 1, I have 216 to the 1/3. Well, my rule says when I have x to the 1 over n, that's the nth root of x. So 216 to the 1/3 is the cubed root of 216. Now the instructions say rewrite as a radical, which we've done, then simplify if possible. You need to start learning some of your bigger numbered exponents. 6 cubed is 216, so the cubed root of 216 is 6. In number 2 I have 49 to the 1/2. Well, that means the square root of 49, which is 7. Notice you don't write the 2 in there. You could if you needed to. 12 to the 1/5 means the 5th root of 12. That's nothing we know. It's an irrational number. Leave it alone. Now in number 4 you want to remember your other exponent rules to help you simplify. So I'm going to leave 5 to the 1/4 alone for now. And I'm going to rewrite 125 as 5 cubed. And that's all raised to the 1/4. Well, yesterday we reviewed our exponent rules, and I know that 5 cubed to the 1/4 is 5 to the 3 times 1/4, or 3/4. Now I have like bases. I add my exponents. I have 5 to the 1/4 plus 3/4, which is 5 to the 4/4, or 1, or just 5. Now in number 5, people will often panic when they see a decimal, but remember you can change that to a fraction. So y to the negative 3.5 is really y to the negative 3.5. And then go back to your middle school days and change that to improper number. That's negative 7/2. And now the negative exponent means reciprocal. 7/2 is the square root of y to the 7th. So finally my answer is 1 over the square root of y to the 7th. Negative 32 to the 4/5 is the 5th root of negative 32 to the 4th. The 5th root of negative 32 is negative 2, and that's to the 4th. Negative 2 to the 4th is 16. So negative 32 to the 4/5 is 16. For this last example, going in this direction, I have an exponent raised to an exponent, so I multiply them. X to the negative 4/7 times 7. The 7's cancel. That's x to the negative 4, which means 1 over x to the 4th. For our last 3 examples, we're just going to take a radical and write them in exponential form. We need to be able to work both ways. So the square root of negative 10 is negative 10 to the 1/2. Exponent of 1/2 means square root. Square root of 7x cubed is 7x cubed, all to the 1/2. Again, radical, a square root means a 1/2 exponent. And finally, the cubed root of 5xy to the 6th is equal to 5xy to the 6th, all to the 1/3. And that's it. Have a great night.